what he's gonna go over is game changing stuff. Like some of the stuff like we've taught you everything. You've seen it. You've seen enough examples. The only way you're gonna improve on that side of things is practice. But this is like that little thing. You might feel like, why isn't it working for me? What because the stuff we do is really difficult. The markets aren't even designed for people that trade 1 to 3s to win, to trade 1 to 1s to win. That use like, do you know what I mean? That give themselves a lot of leeway. The way we trade gives you not a lot of leeway, but that's the beauty of it. That's how you make more money. But you do need to get special things in life. Anyone can do it, but you need to have something a bit special about you, whether that be access to information or a different way of thinking. That's what's gonna help you get there, and that's what Kyle specializes in. So yeah, I'll let him cover this. I'll hand over to him, let him pattern it. But if you have questions, whatever, he'll be able to answer it in this section.
I think. Oh yeah, that's the one. All right, yeah. So basically, as we said last week, I said I'd go over a bit of like mindset stuff. I'll be honest with you, as I was making this, I kind of noticed that there is a lot to cover, but I didn't want to put in too much stuff that people maybe wouldn't really not agree with, but maybe not understand at this point. So I've kind of gone about it in like a more not basic way, but let's say what I learned first, that's what I've included in this PowerPoint. And I was thinking this could potentially be a set of like 3 different videos. So this being like, let's say video 1, and I might like up it every now and then, but I don't think I'd do these 3 trainings all in a row. I think I would probably break this down slowly, do this training now, maybe in a month or a couple of weeks, I'll do the next one after. But this I guess course specifically is more an introduction into the whole spiritual side of success, that kind of stuff, because everyone has their own opinion, and I know a lot of people have their own beliefs, contrasting beliefs and stuff. So I kind of just wanted to, I guess, implement it a bit slowly. So the first thing I'm basically going to talk about is more from the trading aspect, right? So something that I found myself talking about quite a lot recently, just in terms of like helping people in terms of skill set and stuff. So one thing that's actually really, really good to do is basically go on a demo account, right? And basically what you need to do is you need to just execute trades, right? No emotion. So like, because it's the whole point is because it's a demo, you should be able to take the trade without any emotion, without any distraction and whatnot. So, and obviously sometimes you do still have that kind of feeling, but you need to be able to execute, let's say a sample trade. So let's say 30 trades, right? Execute 30 trades without any emotion, which just strictly follows your trading rules and your trading plan. So i.e. the stuff that we taught you, supply and demand, Wyckoff, etc., right? And what you'll do is you'll find out what your win to loss ratio is. Okay, so essentially you'll see that, let's say you find out of 30 that you've won let's say 1 out of 10 roughly. Okay, so I've written down there at the right side 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, right? And what that actually helps you do is that understand that, let's say if your ratio is 1 to 10, then what you'll see is that what you need to do is you need to lose 9 times to win once, if that makes sense. So what that in turn should actually do is help you understand that if you take X amount of losses in a row, right? Because a lot of people cannot take 9 losses in a row, right? Just being like, most people can't take 9 losses in a row. It taps with them and they'll feel like, oh my God, like I'm losing so many in a row. But if you understand now what your ratio is, right, then you'll be able to understand, okay, cool. If I take this many trades, I understand that those losses are a part of your win. So that's what you need to start viewing losses as, is that these losses all add up to my overall win. And obviously, your win-loss will improve as your skill set improves. But in my opinion, it's good to get a base so you know what kind of level you're at, if that makes sense, right? The other thing is about observing your emotional state. So I remember I went to an event about 2 years ago now, I think 2.5 years ago. It must have been Chris Terry came down himself. It was one of the huge regional events. I remember one thing he actually said was that you need to be so conscious about how you're feeling during your trading. And it's something that at the time I thought, what is this guy talking about? Like, if I'm good at the skill set, surely it should not be a problem. Like, what I was thinking, what on earth is my emotions got to do with the market? But what you'll notice is, and if you consciously are aware of how you're emotionally feeling, is that you'll realize that that actually plays such a huge part in how you're trading. So I'm just basically understanding what your vibe is of that day. Like, for example, if you're going through some sort of emotional pain, like if you're distressed, upset, angry, all that kind of stuff, then it's a good idea not to trade that day. And reason being is because you can make certain decisions that aren't aligned with your trading plan. Like, your trading plan is supposed to be straight focus, no emotion, completely calm. Like, when you execute the trade, no emotion. Like, obviously it's something that we're all working towards. I'm not saying I'm perfect and that I take every trade with no emotion. It's obviously impossible, but eventually you can work to that point where, sorry, it's not impossible. You can work to a point where that is achievable, where every trade you take is completely unemotional, completely calm. All right. So yeah, that's a big thing. This is one thing that I learned from Mark Douglas, right? So if you haven't written that name down, make sure you write that in your notes, Mark Douglas, right? And what he did, he specializes in basically just market psychology. So he's done countless webinars. You can find a lot of them on YouTube. I've recommended a couple in the past anyway, which are really, really, really helpful videos. But basically, this is one line that he said that kind of resonated with me quite a lot. He said, the market has the ability to tap into all the pain you've ever felt. So what that basically means is that sometimes when you, let's say you lose at trading, right? I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but especially at the start of my journey, if I lost, it's such a deep thing. And at the time, it's so, you can't even understand why it's deep, but it hits you so hard. But sometimes if you think about it, like, why on earth is this loss in trading actually even hurting me that much? Like, it's simply numbers on a screen, and you've got a number on the screen. Let's say your balance is 300. Technically, it's just literally a 3-digit number, and it's got -10 on it. Like, if you were subtracting 300 minus 10 from maths, like, that's 290. Like, it's literally numbers on a screen that is affecting you so badly. But that's the truth of it, though. And I'm not like sugarcoating and saying, I'm laughing, you shouldn't feel any emotion towards that. Obviously, the point is that it's your money, and you're emotionally hit by that, and et cetera, et cetera. But what we've got to understand is that the market has the ability, when you feel pain, that what your brain actually does is a defense mechanism, is that it's actually able to compile all the pain that you've ever felt, and it literally taps into that. That's why it hits so much. What's the one saying? But literally, like, your pain that you felt in the market, like, it comes from all different sorts of pain that you felt in your life, and it's all accumulated. It's not simply that, like we said, that you're just looking at numbers on the screen and you've lost 10 pounds and you're freaking out. Like, it's able to tap into such a huge range of pain. So the point of being is that you have to become aware of how the market's actually making you feel. And like I said before, if you're like emotional that day, if you're not feeling that good, etc., these little things are gonna, I guess, knock your balance, in the sense that you want to stay balanced, you want to stay calm, you want to stay strong. So the idea is that obviously, if you have felt emotion, if you are not feeling good that day, then obviously don't trade. Okay. So the first bit I kind of talked about was just psychology stuff. That's just stuff that I'd learned from Mark Douglas stuff. Yeah, especially him, to be honest. But now I kind of want to move on to the whole spiritual side of success. So I know the thing is, right, is I know a lot of people in this call have a lot of experience with stuff like this, but I know a lot of people won't. So the point is that, like I said, I've tried to start with the more basics, not basic stuff, but just stuff that I learned first before I would, again, talk about anything crazy. So right here, I've written 90% spiritual, 10% physical. Okay, so this doesn't mean that the physical side is irrelevant, right? Understand, first of all, why I'm saying this. The point of me saying 10% physical is because the spiritual weighting is so high, but that does not mean at all that you should disregard the skill set in any way, shape, or form. Like, the amount of hours you've got to put in terms of the skill set and the back testing, is still, you still need to put in those hours, but just understand that the spiritual weighting of this is so much higher. Yeah. So I'm not discrediting physical whatsoever. So the first thing I want to talk about is belief. Okay, so I've actually put the definition up. which basically states that an acceptance that something exists or is true, right? Or trust, faith, confidence in something or someone. The reason I've written belief here is that, let's say I'm going to make this orientated around trading a bit, right? Obviously, because it's trading call. But if you want, you can put this in any, like, in terms of anything in your life. But understand that if you don't even have the belief that you could become a successful trader, then right off the bat, that's a problem that you need to fix, right? Not in a horrible way, but that's something first that you need to change. Okay. Belief is where everything starts. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat box as well. All right, yeah. So belief, right? First of all, belief. So, like I've said, right, if you do not have belief in something that you are doing, you will never see success in it, right? And this isn't like coming from me, like, oh, I'm some special belief guru or anything like that. Like, these are from people who have made multiple millions. Like, people like, even if you research people like David Diamanitia, for example, there's a lot of people that within IM, a lot of people look up to. But there's countless of other people, right? That countless and countless of role models that you can go and find that preach the idea of belief. Okay. And the thing is, right, is that you might think, oh, why is me thinking or believing something even relevant? But the point is that your mind, like the idea of your belief system in your mind, is so much stronger than you actually know. Obviously, if you are rejecting this belief, and you got to understand that that specifically shapes who you are as a person. Okay. And obviously, I'm going to keep breaking this down as I go along. I just got a couple pointers. So the first thing first, right, is awareness. Okay. So it's actually about being aware about, are you even aware about your belief system? So, like, are you actually consciously aware of, do I believe in trading? Do I not believe in trading? Do I believe that I'm willing or able to become a successful trader? Because a lot of people, they might think, right, oh, trading's possible. So I feel like you have a couple of stages you go through. Or let's say the generic person. First of all, is, does trading work? Okay, a lot of people, even you might even have prospected them, they don't even believe trading works. Okay, but that obviously is funny in itself, because we know people who are successful in trading, right? Unless everyone in the world is somehow lying about being successful in trading, it's a bit ridiculous, right? But people do have that belief system. People believe that trading can't make any money. There might even be people on this call who believe that trading makes no money. Yeah, but that is the first belief that I guess you have to kind of eradicate. But the point is that, are you even aware that that's one of your beliefs, right? So the whole idea is, first, does trading even make money? Obviously, yes. Okay. But the next belief that you have to overcome, which takes a lot longer to overcome, is, do you believe that you can achieve success in trading? Okay. So that's the biggest, I think that's one of the biggest things, is that people have to work through, that I've noticed personally, that even in my personal journey, that's one big thing where people don't actually believe that they can become successful in this area. But you understand, right, that it's not even in trading specifically. Some people are even brought up to believe that they can never be successful in anything. Yeah, like, let's say, even if you think about school, we all have beliefs about something. You might be the person, you might at school say, oh, I'm not good at sport, or I'm not good at maths, or I'm not good at English. But that's just a belief system that you've formed based off of a handful of experiences. Yeah. So, like, you could change that belief. For example, I could say I am good at sport, or I am good at, I don't know, maths. But the point is that all those things are belief systems that you've created in your head, and what they do is they shape your entire reality. Life will be warped around what you're, I guess, expressing to the world. Yeah. So the first thing is, you need to be aware, like, and when I'm talking about all this stuff, right, is that the key thing I want you to think is, am I actually aware of this happening? Am I aware of this belief? Am I aware of how I'm feeling in this sector? That's probably the main thing I want you to be, like, holding within your brain while you're thinking about all this stuff. Okay. So yeah, one thing I want to say is that anything you desire is already present in the universe, as everything is energy, and energy is neither created nor destroyed. Okay, so I'm not going to be here to try and prove the things that I'm saying. If you want to go and research these concepts, if you want to go and look up studies about it and whatnot, then you can go and do that. I'm not going to be here to try and convince you this is right. I'm just going to be explaining what it means, right? If you do want to go and research this. There's endless papers out there talking about stuff like this. But anyway, if you did like physics GCSE, you would have known one of the laws or whatever is energy is neither created or destroyed. So understand that out there, right, is that there's realities where anything is possible. Anything that you've ever thought of in your brain is a real thing in a reality outside of us, right? You can look at it as parallel realities. You can look at it as that's an idea of yourself that is out there somewhere. But understand that anything that you've ever desired, anytime you've ever envisioned yourself doing something, being someone, even positive or negative, that reality is out there, okay? And understand that that reality is just energy, right? And we're also energy. Everything around us is energy. And the way this kind of thing works is that whatever energy you're resonating at is the energy that you attract. And obviously I'm going to talk about that later as we go. So one of this law that I want to talk about, right, law of reciprocity, is that whatever energy you are giving out is the energy that you'll receive back, right? So if you are giving out, so I know a lot of people look at this and they'll think, oh, okay, cool, I know that about the whole idea of if you're negative, then what goes around comes around, or karma, right? I'm talking about that, but I'm talking more specifically in the sense that whatever you think, believe, and talk about yourself, that is how, well, first of all, that is the energy that you're giving out, right? So that's simply the energy that you will receive, okay? Is there anything else I want to put? One sec, chat box. Yes. Is there anything else I want to say about that? No, that's good. All right, cool. All right, so again, I'm going to talk about this. So everything is vibrating at a certain frequency, and you must embody the vibration that you want to attract into your life, what you desire, okay? So understand that image of you, I'm going to put it in terms of trading, but again, it can be anything. That image of you being a successful trader holds a certain vibration, right? That person that you want to become is a specific, is the energy of that person is at a specific frequency. And the point is that your being now also operates at a specific frequency. And it's kind of like your job to be able to embody that vibrational frequency that you want to become, okay? And obviously I'm going to talk about how to do that, but I have got this image here. So this image is actually from a book that I'm reading recently. I'll grab it. It's a bit I haven't got an official opinion on it because I haven't finished it, but it's basically about called Power versus Force. And what the book does is it actually breaks down any situation or even like physical things into frequency specific numbers, right? Or that's not what the whole book does, but that's what part of it's about. And what this whole diagram basically is representing is that these specific numbers on the left hand side, right? So this scale matches different emotions, okay? So you got here shame, guilt, apathy, pride, desire, anger, pride, courage, right? And then above the ones you've got acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. And the whole point is that you want to shift into a higher frequency and a higher vibration. So obviously the higher frequency, the higher vibration you have, the higher up the number is on here, right? And it's not that you'll be resonating at one of these all the time. Like no one, or there are some people that are just always angry, but the common person will have, I guess, different areas of their life, they'll resonate with these numbers, right? And the whole point is that you're working to get that part of your life out of that. So you might have a lot of resentment or anger towards someone, but even if you have that towards someone else, you're holding that vibration within yourself, okay? So that level, that anger, that isn't hurting anyone but you. A lot of people talk about this anyway, like the idea of, oh, if you're angry at someone, if you've got a grudge at someone, you're not, that's not affecting you, them in any way, shape, or form. That is literally just bottling up inside of you. That anger, the only person that you're hurting is yourself by feeling that anger for someone else. Do you get it? So yeah. Obviously, like I said, I just want to reread it. The idea that everything is vibrating at a certain frequency, and you must embody the vibration you want to attract into your life. So let's now put it in terms of success. You have to embody that person that you want to become. So understand that right now you're this person, is vibrating at this specific wavelength, and you want to now move into the vibration and embody the vibration of the person that you want to become. Okay, so again, yeah, someone already talked about right there, law of attraction. This, I know a lot of people have heard about law of attraction. If you haven't, the idea is that it's all about thoughts becoming your reality. A lot of people don't really get it. If I was to put it in in this kind of, well, I've made this diagram here. This is I think the best way to explain it. You've got thoughts, right? And thoughts carry energy. So your thoughts, how you're feeling about yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you feel about yourself, they all carry energy, right? So your thoughts, let's say if you think negative thoughts, like, I don't know, for a couple hours or something like that, that will eventually turn into emotion and you'll be having a bad day. Yeah. So an emotion simply is just an energy in motion. So now you've got that stagnant energy, which is your thoughts, and you've moved that into an emotion, right? Now, depending on what emotion you have, will actually determine what action you have. I.e., if you have a crap emotion and you're feeling crap about trading, for example, and you feel, oh my God, I've hit all these stop losses. Oh my God, this is so hard, right? You're obviously going to take no action towards your goal. And therefore your reality will be that you are still unsuccessful in trading. Okay. But the idea is that you have the ability to control your thoughts. You are the controller of all your thoughts in your brain, right? And we actually have about, I think it's 70,000 thoughts in a single day, which you probably don't even know that or even think you have 70,000 thoughts in a day, but that's the psychological study. When I first heard that, I was like, that's crazy. But what I basically realized was I was trying to reflect and think, okay, cool, then how many of those thoughts are actually positive, or how many of those thoughts are actually doing me a favor, right? And there is a study for that as well. They said that most people's thoughts are negative. The majority of people's thoughts are negative. And I think you can kind of see that in everyday life, to be honest. A lot of people, it's sad to say, but a lot of people are, you could say, closed-minded. A lot of people are, I guess, have like negative outlooks on life, right? And this isn't me like saying, oh, I have an amazing positive outlook on life or anything like that, but I'm just saying I feel like if you look in society nowadays, there's a lot of people going through a lot of issues, right? And they might not understand where the root of that cause is coming from, but a lot of it is down to your thoughts. Okay, so at first it's not going to be as simple to just be like, oh yeah, let me just think positive. There's a lot of things you can do to be able to influence what your thoughts are. Yeah, obviously I'm going to talk about that as I go along. But the main thing I kind of want to get at through this is that understand that you are in control. You have the power to determine where your thoughts go, therefore where your emotions go, etc., etc. Okay, so one big thing I've already spoke about a couple of times, but there's a lot of power in speech, right? So once you understand that your thoughts control your reality, one sec. Yeah, once you understand that your thoughts control your actual reality, you're going to obviously start becoming a lot more careful about how you think, how you feel, and how you talk about your goals. Yeah. So I think a while ago we had like this kind of list of words that you probably, let's say that you shouldn't be saying in front of your goal, that you shouldn't say the word, I hope this will happen, or what's the word? Like, oh, I'll try, or I bet someone's come to help me. That's the one, try. I can't remember the other ones, but there's basically words that kind of are not solidifying the idea that you will be successful. Like, you need to talk as if your goals are already completed. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, there you go. Maybe, I hope, I'll try. Thanks, Norbert. Could, yeah, I could. Yeah, this is it. So the idea is, right, that you need to talk like your goals are already done. Yeah, you need to think, feel, and act as if your goals are. So you need to, like I've said before, you need to embody the person you want to become, right? So I've written here: feel, think, talk, and yeah, feel, think, talk as if you have already as if you already have what you desire, right? But I kind of had a thought in my mind, right? And just going back to something I said at the start about belief. I understand that if you don't actually believe that you can achieve your goal, then obviously all of this is kind of not useless, but this isn't going to go in, because if you don't have that forefront of belief in your head that like what you're working on is possible, then obviously you're not going to implement any of this, right? And going back to this on the last slide, I've made like a list of stuff that I think personally is quite helpful for improving this sort of stuff. Yeah. So so these last 2 points actually are sick, right? I've read these recently in like a podcast I was watching, right? And these ideologies, even for me, kind of went against even certain belief systems that I had, and even things that I'd kind of forgotten about in the past. These things, I'll be honest with you, are definitely game changers, right? So first thing is don't chase your goals, right? So what I mean by chase is that the word chase, okay, energetically implies that your goal is running away from you. Okay, so what you actually need to do is make it natural and normal that you'll manifest your goals, right? You'll notice, I've noticed it in countless people, right, that you'll see those people who don't care, right, seem to just somehow pull it out of the bag for no reason. And I've noticed this in everything in life, even if like take it away from trading, take away from all stuff, like let's say school, for example. Those people, maybe you had friends in school that were like naturally smart, they were somehow, they could just do no work, or they do, let's say not the bare minimum, but they do work, yeah, but they'd have this kind of state of relaxation, yeah. And you might be that person who's so anxious and like panicking and thinking, oh my god, if I don't do well in this, my life's over, or some crap like that. But you'll notice that that person seems to do so well effortlessly, right? And you can apply that to anything in life. Even in this business, you'll see the people who seem to be so even like big leaders, you'll see that they're so, what's the word, like zen. I feel like the best word to explain it is zen. Like they're so emotionally strong, they're so balanced, if that makes sense, right? So a big thing is don't chase your goals. Don't be saying, oh, I'm chasing my goals, I'm doing that kind of thing, right? Another thing is, right, this might sound really weird, right, but don't place extreme importance on the things that you want to manifest. Now you might think this doesn't make sense. I'll be honest with you, when I listened to this, I thought, like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, if my goal is financial success, financial freedom, and I'm doing this for my family and that sort of thing, like, why on earth is that not important? But you got to understand, right, if you've ever, so this is more for the people who've ever manifested anything in their entire life. Like, if let's say you've used these concepts already, you'll come to realize, or I've at least come to realize, that the things that you've wanted the most, that you've placed so much importance on, in the sense that you've literally thought that, like, oh my god, if this doesn't happen, like, my life's over. A lot of the time, for me specifically, I feel like those things will take the longest to manifest, right? There is a difference between this and like a burning desire. Like, those two things are, in my opinion, are completely different. Like, a burning desire to achieve something and having relentless work ethic for it is completely different. Like, that's fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be working hard for your goals. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, what's the word, like, pursuing your goals with like no going back. Like, the whole idea of burning your bridges, you should be doing all that. But the idea of saying to yourself, oh, how do I word this? Like, the idea that, okay, that's it, that this isn't normal for you. Because a lot of people, right, what they do is that, let's say I'm here, and now let's say I want to manifest 100,000 or 1,000,000. You'll look at that amount of money as something that is so out of your reach that you'll think, oh my god, this is so unachievable, that now you're chasing this goal, and that you're putting this goal on you're putting this goal on a pedestal, right? But to manifest something, you need to understand that anything that you manifest, it should be something that you know that you can achieve. That is literally like, it's like if I manifested picking up this book, right? I can go and pick up this book and it's in my hand now, right? I know it's a stupid manifestation, but let's say if you were manifesting something so small, like I'll give you an example, right? I done this the other day. I watched a film in 2015. This is completely off the topic, but it's jokes. I manifested. Oh, sorry. I watched a film in 2015, right? And I didn't know the name of the movie, and I really wanted to remember the name of the movie so I could watch it again. So now time goes on. It was like a couple of days. I was on Instagram. I was flicking through. This guy literally posted a post. He was doing a video and he pointed at all these different movies. He was just basically explaining, I can't remember what he was saying, but something about the movies. And he pointed to this one movie and the name resonated with me. And I was thinking, where do I know that from? I searched up the name of the movie and it was the exact movie that I said to myself that I wanted to remember. And I know that's such a small thing, but that's just an example of manifestation. But understand that I knew that manifestation wasn't hard to come by. In my head, I had no resistance towards that manifestation because in my head, I believe in the concepts and I knew that is just something that I knew that would just pop into my head. Like I had such belief that I could find the name of this film, for example. But the difference is let's say now, if I say like £1 million or something, someone's going to think, oh my God, I've got to do all this to achieve that, or I'm going to have to work so hard to achieve this. I'm going to have to do all these sort of things to get this object, right? But understand that if you start to change your belief systems on stuff, you'll be able to manifest those sort of things into your life without resistance, right? I'll be honest with you, in my opinion at least, that's one of the biggest things that stop people from manifesting stuff. It's resistance